Okay, pastors, here's a tool from Keller Williams. And I think this is really insightful for those of us in ministry, because what this tool is all about is helping people to measure the right things, helping realtors, right, real estate agents to measure the right thing so that they can move forward and get past the wall of value and then on to profit. Now, I'm going to explain all this real quick, and then I'm going to explain how we can think about this maybe when it comes to doing ministry the way Jesus wants us to do ministry in our churches. So here's how they say it. First of all, they measure their listing appointments every single week. They measure their listings taken every single week, right? And they've got some tools for this. And I won't get into all these details, but the point is, once you get them to a closing, once you take it from appointment set and listings taken, and now you start doing a closing, right? What you've just done is you've crossed through the wall of value. Everything that your company offers to a client is now being realized over on this side of the wall because you're closing for them, right? You're helping them sell their house or buy a house or whatever, right? Now, obviously, for the agent, him or herself, the goal is to make a profit, right? But what I wanted you to see here is kind of how they view what the win really is. And so on a regular basis, they call these the 4 conversations. On a regular basis, you would sit down with your boss if you were an agent, and you would talk through these 4 things. How many appointments have you taken? How many listings have you taken? How many closings have you made? And then what's your profit month over month, right? And you can compare it to last year and all kinds of things. But these are their main metrics. Now let's clear this off and think about this for our churches. As pastors, if we're trying to create a culture of discipleship, in other words, we're trying to get people to go full circle, right, and become a mentor, then how should we think about this pastorally? How should we think about this institutionally? What are the most important numbers for us? Here's my suggestion. Let's start with the goal. The goal is to get people to go full circle. And so what we're measuring here are steps, right? Every time someone takes a step, then that is a measurement. That is a win. We'll come back to number 4 in a minute. Let's just back our way out of this. What does it take for someone to pursue God, right? For someone to go through the steps and go full circle? Well, it takes a mentoring conversation, right? I mean, after all, that's the goal, is to one topic at a time help people pursue God. So that happens one conversation at a time. You have these mentoring conversations, and you're helping someone move forward in their pursuit of God. Now let's back up to number 2. What is it going to take institutionally to get people into life-giving mentoring conversations one topic at a time? We call that in our resources a handoff. In other words, taking people that come to your church that need to be connected to a group or a mentor and connecting them, handing them off to a qualified group leader or mentor. Then backing up just a little bit more, in order to do the handoff, you have to do training. So now in my mind, the picture is complete. So let's go from 1 all the way to 4. You train people up in your church through workshops or one-on-one training, and just bring them through mentor training. That's the most basic way to do it, right? Bring them through mentor training on the site. You're training people up. And when you do that, you're building your pipeline. And now through your worship services, through your events, through your small groups, through your youth group, you're using all of these large group experiences as opportunities to hand off people who need a mentor to a mentor. Once you make those handoffs, what you're in essence doing is you're breaking that person through the wall of value. Everything that your church offers to somebody, right? And if your mission is to help people pursue God, so in other words, what you're saying is, here is really where we begin to offer you value. It's not just preaching a sermon. There's nothing wrong with sermons, but ultimately that doesn't really help someone break through the wall of value. Breaking through that wall is when you start connecting them into mentoring conversations, right? With that person that you've trained, You've now handed them off to the right people, and now real conversations are happening, one topic at a time. And ultimately, then you get them to move forward in their pursuit of God. And so they begin to trust Jesus and honor God. And then pretty soon, watch what happens. Now, through the institution of your church that is a discipleship culture, you are bringing those people through training, and now you've got more people to hand off people to, and once again, you're adding more and more value. And so these 4 things, this is what I want to challenge you with, pastors. Measure these 4 things. The number of training conversations or workshops that you have on a weekly or monthly or quarterly or annual basis. The number of handoffs you do every time you have an event, right? The number of mentoring conversations that are actually happening. And then ultimately, you're measuring the number of people that are going through the circle, whether they're trusting Jesus for the first time and getting baptized, or they're beginning to live a life that really honors God, or they're getting in the game, getting trained, and becoming a part of this value that you can offer to the world through the local church. This right here, these are the 4 conversations for a discipleship culture.